Oh, right. Okay. So, I am live, I think. Hello. Hello, everyone. Yeah, well, I know this is very impromptu, but what can I do? It's very difficult to get any time to do these things. And also I'm busy with my Zoom classes, which I've been running on Friday evenings. So I hope you're all having a lovely summer. As you probably noticed from the title, I am going to paint a kind of self-portrait. Okay, so but it's not just a straight self-portrait. I tend not to do those anyway. But what I'm going to do is stick to this screen, and you can see the palette there. Just paint something, and it'll develop as I think of what to do while I'm doing it. You know, so it's kind of impromptu, I suppose. I don't know if anyone's out there, but let me have a look. So sometimes you got YouTube tells you, doesn't it? Okay, so look, if you're there, send me a message. In fact, what I'll do is I'll write that. Send me a note where you're viewing from. And hang on, let me just grab that. I do hate when I've got fat fingers and things don't always get written the way I intend them. Do something you know where you're viewing from, and how you're, yeah, and say hello. Okay, there you go. I've done that now. All right, so I'm just going to get on with this. I'll look up from time to time and see whether somebody's left a message, and I'll do it that way. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the basic thing, which is just a kind of a drawing. I'm using acrylics, by the way, just straight acrylics. Right, so I think I want myself to be only kind of that size. This is A4, this thing. Put myself in the middle there, I think I will. Now, should I move him up? Because maybe I don't want so much room up there. Just fit everything around, so I'll change that around. Look slightly to the figures left there. Okay, so yeah, I think further out was better. There's the body. Obviously I won't get in all the legs, but that's okay. I think I might even put something across there for a textual element. Yeah, something like that. Hands can be like that. Hands like that. I think a denim jacket. I like denim jackets. Slightly Vitruvian man. Look. There's an ear. Yeah, it's only an A4 sheet, so It's not very big at all. So let's see what happens when I put that in there. That'll be the... When I was young, I used to... The thing to do was to turn up the cuffs, so I'll do that. Hands out there like that. Jeans. Just making a plan. There is no plan to this apart from the fact that I'm doing basically a self-portrait. A self-portrait about myself. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, that's fine. Don't know what's going to go in behind me yet, but what I'll do is I'll just... What essentially I'm painting here is a brun eye. It's like a gris eye, but it's warm. Not sure what to put around in that area yet. Don't know what the weather's like where you are, but here it's very blowy all of a sudden. That must mean the weather is changing, hopefully for the better. Okay, so oh yeah, so to do that. So as I was saying, this is acrylic, so it's going to... It takes a while before the paint starts to go on smoothly. Oh, let's make sure that that's there. Yeah, so this could be a plan for a larger painting. It may not end up being, but yeah, so now I can start developing that, I suppose, a little bit. I'll have myself looking askance at me. The light may be coming from this side, so I think I might make a shadow there like that. What am I like? So the deeper shadows under there. Deeper shadows under there. There's usually a kind of a seam there, isn't it, on the denim jacket there. Then the pockets. Maybe it's a bit further up. Then there's a collar. Probably not as slim as this anymore either. Who cares? I know. What do I like? What do I like doing? What are my enthusiasms? Maybe I'll put my enthusiasms into. Oh, somebody there. Strong Island gal. Hello, Tennessee. How are you? I've just noticed there's a shadow over my mouth. That's because there's a light over there, and there's a camera just here, just with me into my brushes. Nice to have you along, Strong Island gal. What's the weather like where you are? Probably sort of oppressively hot, is it? There's my heart. Mm-hmm. 88 Fahrenheit. Oh my God! You've inadvertently touched on my least favourite subject, which is conversion from units of measurement. I think a guitar there would be nice. I play a bit of guitar. Oh hey, hopefully rain coming. Right, okay. Well, we've had quite a bit of rain, so I'm going to put in some of the things that I like doing here. So I play the fiddle. I'm not claiming to be expert at any of these things. The flute can be there. These might all change. I love the traditional music. Family. Family. How to represent that. I think the theme of this will be connections. What do you tend to paint, Strong Island gal? This is a very impromptu session of me painting. So I teach painting, but I don't teach this. This is what I just do for myself. Make stuff up. It's kind of a nice way of working, really. So I don't know what I'm going to end up with, certainly not. Or whether it'll be any good. But it'll be something. Oh yeah. I do love acrylics. Different from oils. That can go in there like that. Landscapes and oil. Started originally gouache. I think, yes, you mentioned that before, I think. Yeah. Gouache is great. I take gouache with me if I go to a hot country on holiday. But taking acrylics can be a bit of a pain, and oils is also a pain because your paintings won't be ready to come with you when you go home. Okay, so those instruments can be casting a shadow. Give them a little bit of solidity. I don't want to sort of treat this too accurately. The violin there. Do you ever do self-portraits? Yes. The thing about this is that I want to put in some of the things that I do, even though I'm not that great at them. But I also wanted to put in the things I love as well, like my family, but I'm not sure how I'd fit them into a painting this size. But that could always come later, at a later date. It doesn't have to be complete, this one. I think I'll give myself a bit more girth. I am not the svelte young man that I was. There. Shadow there, shadow under the nose, shadow there. I've got a bit more neck than I should have as well. Is that what happens to your neck? You see, you can't. Look at that. There's no avoiding it. Or maybe there is, I don't know. So that shadow can go further over there like that. There like that. Hands down there. Hands down there like that. And I tend to wear dark t-shirts, but in this case I don't think it will be dark, because I think it would be better if it was light. Don't do one necks, yeah. It's funny, isn't it? You look in the mirror and then my mother used to say, I don't know who that person is. Who's staring back at me? Put that around there like that. Now I think that background is going to be lighter than I have it as well. So, incidentally, Strong Island. Is Strong Island a place? Or is your name Strong? Or maybe you don't want to let on, I don't know. Anyway, it's just interesting. It's difficult to talk about people sort of with their YouTube handles instead of names. Yeah, I'll just sort of say that I'm using acrylics here, but I'm just using 3 blobs of paint. You can see it there in the palette, and that way you get a nice grey, and then you can colour in over the grey if you've a mind to after. Yeah. Cape Cod. Strong Islands in Cape Cod. I must look that up. Cape Cod sounds beautiful. I've never been to the States. I'd love to go one day. those can all be in the background. Yeah, Cape Cod, that's kind of very old America, isn't it? Eastern. New England, is it? I'm so woefully ignorant. The hands can all go in afterwards. Lighten that. Yeah, maybe I don't want too much shadow. The paper is buckling. This is a painting on paper that's primed for acrylics. But it's I like the stuff. It's not expensive either. It's got great. The paint goes on well. Yeah. I'm going to make a grey. A reasonably dark, but not too dark grey, because I have to figure out what the colour is going to be down here eventually. There. So I'm just thinking how I'm going to add to this as I go along, really. Back to the figure. Obviously that can't be too dark, but it can't be too light either. So these are essentially the blocks. All the details we'll go into subsequently. Made myself look very young, but on the that's what they say, you should think young, shouldn't you? There we go. The aim of this is not accuracy, fidelity to what I actually look like. The aim is, I suppose, the idea of it. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Back to the face. Now, I am a very white person. I am pale. I've got the Irish alabaster skin due to thousands of years of lack of sunlight. So it's not going to be a swarthy figure. Made myself very long. Okay. Just putting a bit more at the hands. Palm. lighter. Sometimes I want to give myself a reference and to, you know, kind of follow the reference to make it accurate, but I don't think it always helps. You get sort of nicer results, but it's, to a large extent, making it up. Let's get that t-shirt. I used to wear white t-shirts a lot. Let's lights on the chest. The thing that's there. Okay. There he is there. And now I need to lighten up that denim jacket a little. A bit darker than that. Just make it a general colour like that, and then down the arm, the cuff, worn fashionably open. Bit more shadow to that side. Some light coming in there, and then similarly blue jeans. Okay, let's get a small brush. We'll start dickying around with that face. Right. I've got a very pronounced sort of line running down from my cheek down there. There's a lot of that in my family. You can see it. It's very pronounced. You can't probably see it right now, but I've got a dimple on that side. There. My hair is as grey as a badger's arse, so I can't not do that. I do teach classes in Dublin. I teach them down at the local church hall. I used to teach in my studio, which you can see behind me, but it's too small, and then COVID put a stop to that. I had to go and find another venue. Thankfully I found that church hall, and it's really nice in there. I like it. It's not an art studio, but you know, I can't, you know, it doesn't look like an art studio. It's a very nicely appointed place. Good kitchen, good loos. It's all on the ground floor, so nobody has to hike up steps. I like it. I've made myself look like Superman here, but anyway, look, yeah, look, it's my painting. I can make myself look whatever way I want. Let's put in a bit around there. Some I want to put those fingers coming up. So in other words, yeah, I want a kind of a pointy hand there. I also I do an online class if you're interested on a Friday night. I'm going away on holiday for the last couple of weeks of this month, but then I'll be back. I'm thinking of making. They're done on Zoom, so I do those. So I mean, anyone can join in from anywhere there as long as you're awake. It's at 6:30 Greenwich Mean Time, and I presume if you're the same as New York time, that would be what, 5 hours behind. So it would be on something like 1 o'clock for you, 1 o'clock in the day. So I do those. It's not painting like this though. It's more painting landscapes and traditional work, I suppose. The problem with doing traditional work, I find, Strong Island Gal, is that you get fixated by it. Or you just kind of, it's hard to sort of break away from it if you've been doing it a long time. So the subjects always, they can sort of remain, quite the same. For me anyway, so I'm sure it doesn't happen to everybody, but yeah, do, I mean, by all means join, but you have to go to my website, which is, you can see it, it's up, there it is. And you have to look for there's the art classes section, and I think there's a drop down menu, and it mentions Zoom. I mean, that's if you're interested in that thing. It's really aimed at beginners to intermediates, and it's not aimed at, it's not a masterclass, if you see what I mean. Okay, so I can't remember how the collars on these things go. I think they're like that, aren't they? They're like that. And then we've got, oh yeah, there's always a kind of a seam running down there. There's a seam running down there. And there's a seam always running here. They're constructed rather than tailored, aren't they, those things? Shadow running under there. Shadow running there. Bit of information about folds. I used to do illustrations for mostly for the Irish Times, which is the kind of, it was the big newspaper over here. But I also did work for the New York Times. No, hang on, was it? No, it wasn't. It was the Wall Street Journal. Several times, which I really enjoyed doing. That was in the days when they were getting lots of illustrations done. That all came to an end, really. But look, I mean, I did it. It was great. It was fun. Let's put in a few lights up around the face now. Light coming off the cheek, light coming off the top of my head, because more and more light coming off the top of my head these days. As my head starts to poke through the hair. We'll start building that up later. Now, I want to complete that background a little bit more. Got my big brush. I want it to be lighter again, I've decided. Yeah, the fashion illustrations, yeah. All of it. Like, I mean, it was like, I think you were spoiled in the States with all of that stuff. It was really great working with the Americans. because they had sort of a creature called an art editor, which we never had here. It was too expensive. We couldn't afford art. There wasn't enough people to sell the newspapers to, I suppose. Smaller country and smaller city, everything. So it was just the usual sort of editors who are very text-based people, and they would be the ones who would commission the illustrations, and they could be very literal people, you know. So they'd almost prefer speech bubbles coming out of everything, you know, just to tell people what it is. I mean, they weren't all like that. Some of them had a kind of a lot of sensitivity, but they could be like that, and it would really sort of wreck your good ideas. Yeah, it was good working, because some of them were a real laugh as well. Could tell they got a kick out of funny ideas, and over here too. It used to give me a great buzz to hear the editor laughing in the back, because a lot of my stuff had humour in it, and give me a great buzz to hear the editor burst into laughter or something when he saw a funny idea. I kind of miss it, but you know, that's it. It's not coming back, I don't think. Well, not for me anyway. Oh, Ivor, how are you doing? Ivor's another regular. Nice to see you, and nice to see you too, PM. We're going to have somebody traipsing through my studio in a second. Either one of my daughters or my lovely wife. What's the crown? I'm not sure I follow. Do explain. Am I missing something? Oh, the crown on that thing. Oh, yeah, what does it mean? I've never seen one of those before. Yeah, okay, I know, I'm confused. I'm easily confused, but I am confused. So look, I'll tell you, this way I'm working, just to just in case you don't know. This is a way of doodling and actually coming up with a painting at the same time. Just in case you don't know, you know, I might be talking to people who are well used to this kind of thing, but very often, instead of drawing, because I'm so lazy, instead of actually doing a drawing in my sketchbook, I'll just start painting. And if you do it like this in greys, it means you can come up with your idea gradually. Right? This is the way I see it, and just keep adding to the painting as you go along, because it's grey. You know, there are no decisions about colour to be made. Hi, love. Now come through. Come on. I'm just doing a live stream here. Where was I? Yes, you can sort of you can just keep going, keep adding to it or subtracting to it until you get something that you want and you like it, and then you can go to colour afterwards. And I was shown this technique. I didn't know it at all. I'd heard of it. You know, it's about doing an underpainting, a brunei, or grisaille, they often call it. But grisailles tend to be very grey and cold, where bruneis are warm. So they can even sort of stand on their own as paintings, I think. I've done paintings that were mostly grisaille. and I just put a little couple of spots of colour in it. They were really effective. I really liked them. So it's just another way of working, and it seems to suit me. Oh, Ivor, how did the Zoom? Yeah, it went very well. In fact, I put a recording of it up on YouTube as one of the regular videos. It's just that I cut out most of the speaking bits or the teaching bits, and I kind of got rid of as much as I could. But you can still hear me talking about what I'm doing. So yeah, there's one. I painted an apple for one of them, just a single apple, because it's a good way to practice. Just paint a single object every day, and I did another one. What did I do it of? Jeepers, can't remember. It's yes, a kind of a calanque, you know, a cove in Provence, I suppose it is. Yeah, Marseille. That's up there too. I mean, I won't keep doing that. I mean, the reason I'm doing any of this really at all is that it's really hard to get people together in one place during the summer. Everyone's off doing different things. They're not really thinking about going to art classes or anything. So I had to sort of create these online classes, because then at least you could sort of you know, push it out to people globally, you know, which I couldn't do with my ordinary classes, I suppose. And all the live streams I was doing, just to keep you abreast of what's going on, was, you know, in YouTube they do give you a little bit of money, but it's pin money. It's like you know, I looked at the other day for July, you know, of all the videos that I've ever put up there, and I think I got 8 cents or something. I mean, it's like, it's a good model if you can make it work, but God Almighty, you'd be starved to death long before you ever got the payments for it. So I had to start the online classes. God, I made himself very thin. Why not? It's my painting. For a while there, I was thin. Yes, there will be. There'll be a Zoom class actually at the end of the week, on Friday. I was just telling Strong Island Girl there. It's 6:30. You'll be at work, I think. 6:30, and probably end up at around 8 or whatever. Usual thing. I'll give myself a swan neck. It's my chance to make myself look good, and I'm taking it. Refine the face. I'm afraid I'm going to have to put the glasses on. Sometimes I paint myself and I kind of paint what I wished I looked like rather than what I actually do look like. Now, this here thing in the front of my chest is a heart, but I don't know what a heart looks like. So let me have a look. Now I've no reference to the heart. Do I have one in my book? I've got this book here. Look, this is a great thing. I got it many years ago. The cover's fallen off it and everything. But let me have a look. Sometimes it's all full of woodcut illustrations. You see that there? You know, all sorts of. They're all sort of, how'd you say, royalty free. They're public domain now because they're from at least 100 years ago. And sometimes they have medical. There are medical. Ooh. Look, I mean, we get more and more medical there. Look. See? There might be a picture of a heart in it. It's a great book. I'm so glad. Oh, look, there's a heart. There's a heart there, look. That one there. There. It's not particularly good representation of it, but it's better than what was in my head. No other hearts there. No other hearts. No, don't think so. It'll give me the general idea. I can always go back to it another time. Right, so I'll put a shadow underneath what I've got. That'll give me the shape. Yeah, you've got a great neck, yeah. If you actually saw my real neck, well, you can see it there, look at it. Like the last turkey in the shop. Put that there. There's some pipes coming out of it, of course. There's a thing there. There. And then that can be slightly lighter. In here. It's not lighter, is it? There. And then I can connect my heart to whatever I want. As indeed we all can, metaphorically. So I think I'll put that down a little bit there. I'll make the shadow a bit deeper there. I can go there. And then I can run some pipes, can't I? I can run a pipe out to the fiddle. I can run a pipe out to the flute. Boop. Bit of plumbing. And another one out to the violin, the guitar. These are only ideas, mind. Don't hold me to them. Don't hold me to them. I think when you paint, right, this is my theory, is you can do all the en plein air painting you want, and it will teach you stuff. It'll teach you an awful lot. But there's nothing like painting from your imagination and making stuff up. I'll make that one of those kind of parlour guitars. Thank you, Strong Highland Gal. What do you like? Is it what you talk about, the actual the ideas, or the or my lovely swan neck, or there? It's a nice guitar. I don't have a guitar like that, but I always wanted one, kind of a 1920s guitar, because I love that music from, that Tin Pan Alley kind of music. That Sweet Sue, and it's kind of has a jazzy feel to it, roaring 20s type of stuff. But any music from sort of what 1910 to 1940, and lovely, really love that kind of stuff. Particular artist I like. I should never start these sentences without actually knowing who it was before I start the sentence. What was his name? Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. Leon Redbone. He used to play all that kind of stuff. Look him up, Leon Redbone. And nobody actually knew where he was from. He was Armenian or something. Oh yeah, the that's a really long guitar neck, isn't it? Do you know what? I might actually shorten it. Doesn't need to be that long. I don't know why I'm getting all sort of concerned about accuracy here now, but I am. So that can go out to there. In fact, it can go out to there. Now, by rights, I always like painting. Yeah, I'm obviously a sentimental type of person, but I want to put my family in there somehow. But that's probably a bigger painting, and it doesn't need to be in this one, because this one's it's a bit of whimsy, isn't it? Or is it? Now that flute, I don't play the flute any longer. I found it was too physical, in fact. I used to get headaches the next day after playing, because I'm a completely self-taught musician, and that's all very well, but there are kind of techniques for breathing that you don't pick up yourself. You know, and I used to be exhausted. This is the type of flute played by Irish traditional musicians, by the way. If you ever sort of, I don't know, if you ever listen to that kind of stuff, traditional Irish music, lots of tunes. It has a different sound, kind of a more mellow sound than the concert flute, the silver flute. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, that's quite good. I might make a bit more of those pipes then. So there'd be copper pipes. I think like plumbing pipes, old-fashioned plumbing pipes, but they're plastic these days, aren't they? You know, with big sort of elbows on them. Elbows. Yeah, more. How would you call that? Heath Robinson, isn't it? There was this English illustrator artist called Heath Robinson, and he used to do these like machines, be all levers and pulleys all over the place, going up here, there, and everywhere. They end in a kind of a hand in a just the hand in a white glove, just pushing a button. Elbow there, elbow there. I need some junctions as well, because these need to be connected to each other. Okay, so there, so that can be a junction. That can go in off here, be an elbow, and that can go. Oh, why did I do that? Put it up there, there, there. It'll cross the top of the violin and into the F hole. Okay, so I need to get a titchy brush. A titchy brush, there we go, that's titchy. And I can put in some lights where the elbows and the bits are catching. catching the light. Anyway, it'll help me remember what I'm supposed to be doing if I have them in there. That can go up there like that, it can go there like that, and then it can be like that, and then a light going across the pipe. Same here. There. I'm a fully connected man. Let's get some lighter touches in there. Okay, now this violin, I've got to remember how the shape goes. It goes in there like that, out there like that. I have my dad's violin. After he died, I was only young, but anyway, I took it and I started to learn to play it. Now, what, 35 years later, maybe even 40 years later, I still can't play the bloody thing. It really is the hardest instrument. Pegs, scroll, F-hole, F-hole, bridge, holder, whatever the bloody thing is called, up there like that, down to the end of the violin. Those are the instruments I play. I try. I shouldn't sort of make too much of myself. This can be, there's the head of the flute, the tuner, that's the end of the flute, and then this is divided into three there, and then you've got keys around here, and then there are keys, I can't remember where they're supposed to go. Keys, let's say like that, things like that. I can't remember where they go, but I can sort of look that up later. So that's one of the flutes. Go there like that. And then, you know, all while I'm sort of doing this, I'm trying to think to myself, you know, what is going to go in here? What little sort of pithy message am I going to put in there? I've no idea what to do yet, but that will come all in the fullness of time, won't it? I want to lighten that background again. So, you know, I'm just moving forward cautiously, I should say. Yes, I think a lighter shape that flute a bit better. There's an illustrator that I really like. He's Belgian. He does a lot of stuff though. He's very, very witty illustrations. Called Tom Champ. I think he's got a global reputation. And Champ is spelled S-C-H-A-M-P. You should look him up. Really good. Very witty. Lovely paintings. He paints sort of. It's kind of along these lines, but the figures are more, I suppose, slightly simpler, cartoonish, but it's just so well done. Really lovely. And he's been sort of. He's been going probably since the 80s. Yeah, I love his work. Yeah. Yeah. I put you all to sleep. Yeah. That can go. Do you know what? I think I might forego the need for a shadow. Particularly, I don't need a shadow. Maybe the objects can have a shadow. I don't think the figure needs to have one. Oh, you're still there? Well, it's good to know that you're there. I really do appreciate the fact that you're there. You know, you can get awfully sort of not lonely, but you know, sort of. I tend to get kind of cabin fever a bit, and I used to work in an office in the Dublin city centre, and I used to rent a kind of a part of this office space from a guy who became my friend actually, and so we knock around a lot together. I used to be pestering to go for a coffee all the time. I'm sure I bloody almost ruined him. You know, we used to sort of head out for coffee after coffee. Weren't getting any work done. I loved that, you know. I used to be in industry and worked for various companies, and I used to go in because of the social activity. I wasn't particularly interested in the work. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's the same grey. That's good. I'm going to make more of those pipes now in a second. I'm not quite as bony as that. Cover that. I've kind of neglected that part of the guitar, haven't I? I often find that I do that. There's kind of a part that probably in the back of my mind I don't want to face, and it's stuck over there, not being done. But it will be done. Now, very often I start something like this, and it doesn't work. So you know, you abandon the project, I suppose. But I'm kind of enjoying this, and part of the reason I'm enjoying it is because you said you enjoyed it. There's a kind of a performative aspect to it, which you shouldn't really have, I suppose, as an artist. You should just be doing whatever the hell you know you think of. But I enjoy the company of others. Oh, I'll get back to that eventually. There's the scroll there. Yeah, that guitar, I tried one out in a guitar shop in Dublin called Some Neck Guitars. Great guitar shop. They used to be in Dame Street, and then they moved away from Dame Street. But they're still in town, but a different part. But when they were in Dame Street, I went in there one day and they had this beautiful parlour guitar, this shape, and beautifully inlaid, and it sounded terrific too. And I thought I'd love to buy this, but it was kind of expensive. It turns out it It's kind of made under license of Martin guitars, and Martin are great guitars. So it seemed to have the same kind of build quality as those Martins. God, I wish I'd bought it. Cat's Eye. It's a Japanese brand, I think. I don't know whether anyone's heard of them. Yeah. Yeah, so there's the guitar that I wish I had, not the one that I actually do have. Now, there's something that needs to go on the top, which is very specific to these kinds of flutes. There's a kind of little bobble. There's always this bobble on them, and that's the kind of the fine tuning thing that no one ever uses, but they're always there. And now let's put some lights on the silver parts, because they're all mounted with silver. Those silver rings. There. And now I need to darken some of those pipes. The plumbing. Just going to change the plumbing there, because that pipe can go straight into the embouchure hole, which would be about there. Would it be about there? Maybe more there. Gotta have these things right. Oh, Strong Island Gal. Right, okay. But that's what you can do with this. This way of working is all about finding the values that you want before you ever get to colour. In fact, it was taught to me. I should have said by this Dublin fella who used to. He was around in Ireland for, I don't know, maybe from 20 years ago to just a few years ago. He passed away, unfortunately. His name was Ted Jones. And I met him. Where did I meet him? I can't remember where I met him. But he kind of offered to... I asked him how he painted the way he did. And he says, come on, I'll show you. And I went to his apartment in Dublin town. And in the course of about 40 minutes, I learned more than I had learned anywhere else. Like, it was terrific. He taught me that technique. Painted he painted a portrait in front of me, but of just somebody who was in his mind's eye. It wasn't anyone in particular. Just a kind of he looked like a farmer, you know, with his flat cap on. So that can all go there. Let's put a bit of a shine on that heart. Remember how that goes. So there's a shine there. I notice that can go there. And that can go there. Not exactly sure what that is. I think it was an erroneous stroke. Dark, dark. Casting a shadow. Pull up the colour a little bit. See, this is the style of dress from my youth, I think. I don't know about, maybe it's not the same with women, or indeed with most people, is that you get to an age, you know, when you're young, and you dress to the style that is of that time, and then if you're like me, you carry it through. I haven't really sort of had any major changes in style ever since. I'm too lazy. I'm not sure if you find that, but that there, like that. I'm not exactly sure where I'll have to have a look at my denim jacket. Okay. Okay, there. Now that t-shirt can go lighter. It can, so it can. So I'm going to grab some pure light. It's not white, by the way. It's a Sennelier paint. Hello. Are you off out?
Yes.
Going anywhere nice?
Belgrave.
Oh, God. Well, have a nice time.
Yeah.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
There's another. My youngest going out for an evening with her friends. So that can go there like that. So now he's got a white t-shirt on. And obviously there's light coming in here. And probably some more light going in there. So for part 2, I'll have more detail in here because I'll know what I'm doing more. And it'll be more refined, and I'll probably go to colour in part 2. Fingers. They can always be refined later. But I'm not done here yet. So grab some more dark, refine this. So when I was doing illustration, you had to do sketches because you had to tell the client what you were going to give them most of the time. With the Irish Times, it wasn't that necessary because the timeline was so short. There was actually no time to tell the editor what you're going to do. You just provide 3 sketches and they choose one of them. Okay, so there's more of a shine coming off my hair. My hair is white. Can you see it now? Especially at the sides and towards the crown. So there. Then I've got these kind of reddish sideburns, and then a bit of a topper there. There. That's going to be in light. There's going to be a bit of light coming up the face there like that. Be more light on the neck. There's going to be the Adam's apple, and then there's going to be a bit of a, as the trachea disappears into the chest. Listen to me sounding all medical. Now I've got this sort of pronounced line. Can you see it? It really is quite pronounced. So I'll put it in, and then God, it looks like my uncle John from Wexford. So I must be getting it right. And I've got this dimpled bit down there, so that can go down there. And I would say, whenever I do sort of standard portraits and proper ones with a mirror, I've noticed I've got this shadow that comes down. My face is slightly lopsided. Ears, just a little bit. Don't need to overdo the ear business, so that can go in there like that. That'll do. Family motto, that will do. Add that to there. That line is too pronounced. I mean, that would all be taken care of at the colour level anyway, but let's reduce that a little bit. There. Jeans. Okay. That can go up a little bit here. I have to stop myself from trying to get too realistic, because then I think the power would sort of go out of the painting. I want a shadow coming down here, there on the neck, and then on the t-shirt. There, like that, and then that can be shadow as well. That's shadow. Now, I think I might do the old pool of light business. Lighten that. Yeah, lighten this area here around the head. Paint is starting to harden on the palette, actually. I didn't use a stay wet palette for this. I just used this plastic palette that I have, rather than the wood that I usually use for my oil paints. That can feather out. We were all into sort of dressing up when we were young fellas. We used to have sort of these kind of nice sort of jackets and suits and things. My friend's father was Polish, and he'd been very badly affected during the war, because he had been captured by the Nazis and suffered them under them, and then afterwards he escaped and he got captured by the Russians and said it was just as bad, and he ended up escaping them and walking across Europe to fetch up in Britain, and so that's where he ended up, and he lived there and married there, and he married an Austrian, which I thought was kind of a great story in itself. He'd ruined his health on that sort of on that long trek across Europe, and he lost a lung, had to have a lung removed. He got TB, and so he was always an invalid when I knew him. But he had this great sort of raspy Polish voice. And I walked in there one day in my suit, and he says, "You look like a millionaire." Well, he's a great bloke, I thought. "You look like a millionaire." Oh, how wrong he was. What comic could go down there below? Let's get a little bit of light. I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it? I always like putting something like maybe Matters of the Heart or something like that. I was never good at scripts. Matters of the. So I'm just putting this in as a kind of a way of remembering it, because I'll probably, go to sleep at night, I wake up and I'll forget what I did the previous day. Ipek, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Let's just do a little bit more. I won't keep you too long, because I'll go away, and what I'll do is probably I'll get this more complete as a Brunei, and then for the next one I'll start adding colour. There. There. Shadow there. Oh yeah, why did I do that? Yeah, I wanted to just do the eyes, and I wanted them to be kind of slightly askance, looking at us. I don't have very much in the way of strong eyebrows, as you can see, but I do have eyebrows, so put that there and that there, and then put that there, put that shadow there, putting little dabs where I think I can, what I think I look like. And of course, since I'm half blind, I've got glasses on. So I'll just do, the glasses tend to sort of go across the top of the pupil there like that. And then, oh, there's another thing about my face. I've got this sort of bit that comes down there like that's quite pronounced. Makes me look miserable. I'm not miserable most of the time. Put that up there like that. I've done these before, portraits about you, but not of you. I think they're better. I like portraits that say something about somebody rather than trying to be, I don't know, photographic or something. Let me put a little bit of a dark, little bit of marquetry in there. Make it look a bit more than it is. Let's have a put that. That can go around there. I'm determined I'm going to get a guitar like that one of these days. They're not very strong guitars, like in the sense of sound output, but they're just so beautiful. And the kind of music I like to play, they're perfect for. I like those French troubadour songs as well. Georges Brassens, if you ever look him up, he's great. Matters of the Heart. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I need to spend a bit more time probably not talking and working on aspects like the hands, for example. And those need to be, obviously need to do that, the stock of that guitar as well, which would be, I don't know, something like that. Maybe we'll bring it over. We'll bring it stock over a little bit, and then be something like that, wouldn't it? All the stocks are differently shaped anyway. I think they call them stocks. Am I right? That's very dark. I think I need to go lighter again around my head, and in order to do that, I was telling you about that paint, wasn't I? The light paint. It's that one, Sennelier, and it's I know I've had this over a good while. It's called Warm Bright Yellow. Number 513, if you're interested. And it's a kind of a flesh colour, but a very light sort of flesh colour. Can you see it there? Sorry, there. So there's no white. It's hardly exposed. Long stem of Easter lily held across your hands. An icon, okay. You're suspiciously Irish there, I think. Strong Island Girl. Talking about Easter lilies. Don't know whether you know the significance of the Easter lily here, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. Is that bright? Is that brighter? A bit brighter. It's not necessarily that this has to be sort of distinct from the character, because it'll be a different colour anyway. Ah, all right, okay. So it's the colour you're referring to specifically. Ooh, lost my neck. Oh, middle name Aaron. Okay, well there you are. Well, there was a rebellion in Ireland in 1916, and it commenced on Easter Sunday, and the proclamation was read, and outside the General Post Office in Dublin, and that was it. It kicked off. And it led to the formation of the Irish state. So, and ever since, you know, to show your appreciation, or to show your, I suppose, your appreciation of what happened, you know, you wear an Easter lily. But you are right. I mean, you've given me food for thought, because whether it's an Easter lily or not, the hands are there to be used, aren't they? And it might bring some weight down below to the bottom of the painting. I have to think about, you know, what I want to do. There's all the piping. I'd like more piping, of course. I think I might do another junction there, coming up into the guitar, you know, that kind of thing, and maybe something coming. Maybe there could be another junction into the hand. Whatever. It's all to play for, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's some sort of fabric movement. I don't know whether how realistic I want to go with that. How long have I been at this? It's 5:15 I started. Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, you must. There must be a connection. Was it Aaron in the office, wasn't it? A fully plumbed in man. I wish. God, I wish I could sort of. I never kind of got to the level that I wanted to get to with the music. I've got to do that fiddle as well. I think you get the gist. I need to do something with that face. Don't know, the mouth is looking a little bit glum there. Put a little dab in there. Bring that down there. Bring there. All right, guys. The thing to do is, do join the channel. I presume that you have anyway. If you subscribe to the channel, I'll put up an alert. Hang on, what's it? I'll put up an alert when I'm ready to go with the colour. So I mean, it won't be too long. I can't leave these things too long, because if I do, they won't get done at all. So let me just change that there to me. So what do you think of that then? If you got any questions or whatever, it'd be nice to talk to you. So maybe that looked all looked very dark when I was painting it there. See if it looks lighter on that camera there. Yeah. Looks a bit glum, but I can change that. I kind of, when my face is at rest, I kind of look miserable anyway. But I'm not really miserable. Okay, right. Okay, well, thank you very much for showing up. It's really gratifying to see you, and I know that I could have given people warning, but it's just at the moment it's very difficult to slot anything in. So I wish I could be sort of regular with these things, but it all got a bit too much at the end of last year, and so but I hope to get back into it. My setup is better now. It's actually easier for me to actually get going on a live stream or to make a video than it was last year. So maybe things will improve in that respect because of that. So But anyway, it's really lovely to have you, and I hope you have a great week. I would imagine it would be next Monday. What date is next Monday? Perhaps it's next Monday, but and then I'll show you how I would go to colour on it anyway. So it's the kind of if I had known what I was doing when I started, I could have gone straight to colour, but because I didn't, I used this technique, which I've often done because either I need to ease myself into some kind of into the conditions where I have an idea. They often just don't come into my head unprovoked. So it's a way of provoking those ideas. When you start working, it leads on to ideas. That's what I find. But anyway, listen. Thank you very much, Strong Island Gal, Ivor, IPEC. Who else was in? Maybe it was only 3 of you there, but it was great to have you. Anyone else? PM if you're still there, but if you're not, it was great to have you. And listen, have a lovely week and take care of yourselves. All right, bye.